If you're starting Igbo spirituality, these are the 5 steps I would recommend that you take. I'm going to give you the first 4 just off the top, but the 5th one I'm going to save for the end of the video. Though, step number 4 is a huge hint for what step number 5 is going to be. Step number 1, learn the names of your ancestors. Step number 2, learn how to perform Iwa Oji, which I'm going to teach in this video. Step number 3, set up a space for communicating with your spiritual universe. I'll explain that. Step number 4, learn and acknowledge the spirits of the environment that you're in. And then that one is a hint to what step number 5 is going to be. Now, I'm going to break down each step one by one, why these steps exist, and how to best go about following them. So listen to this. Now, step 1 is to learn the name of your ancestors. And the reason for this is that the ultimate reality of Odinala is that you are learning who you are, what is true to you, and where your power or purpose lies. So who are you? In Odinala and Igbo, or the ancestral worldview, you are who you have always been. The analogy that I always use to explain this is the analogy of the seed and the forest. Now, while I explain the analogy of the seed, I want you to keep this ilu in mind. The ilu says this, Ano ne-eso enwe ga-agbaji ụkwụ ya, or the animal that follows the monkey will break its leg. The analogy of the seed says that in the ancestral worldview, every single person is a seed, but at the same time, every single seed is a forest. A seed does not become a forest. A seed has always been a forest. A person with a true understanding of Odinala will understand that the seed has always been a forest. It then remains for time and space, maybe even consensus, to reveal what it has always been. Now, the seed manifesting the forest is known as Awele. Awele is the process by which an individual or a thing or even a concept reveals its full and entire form to the world. Now, it does not mean that it was not always that thing, but Awele is the moment that the world recognizes what it has always been by way of it manifesting it in physical form. Awele is the revelation of something's full divine form. And by the way, those of you at home, there's this, a lot of more unscrupulous Dibias will sell you this this medicine known as Awele. And the big idea, this always cracks me up, but the big idea is that Awele, the medicine, is supposed to help you achieve Awele. And people think achieving Awele means you become rich. But because not everybody's Awele involves being rich. I'm sorry to break the news to you. Some of your Awele involves getting hit by a car, right? So when you guys go and buy that Awele and you get hit by a car and you start saying that thing didn't work. No, it worked. So you you know, there's an ilu that says, chi onye na bono, which means the chi of a hungry man is also hungry, or the chi of a poor man is poor. Awele does not always mean rich, yo. Some people's Awele is rich, other people's Awele is not rich. So let me go back to what I was saying. The word for life is ndo, with the root word being do. To pull, to lead, to guide, to move in a controlled manner, meaning that life itself is a person being guided towards Awele by their chi. Now, to understand why step 1 is to learn the names of your ancestors, listen to this. In the ancestral worldview, you are more than the physical human being that walks into the door. You are an entire universe of beings that have quote unquote existed before you and will quote unquote exist after you. And the reason I'm saying quote unquote is because the truth is you have all existed and all exist and all will exist so long as there is existence. Meaning that your ancestors are not a thing of the past or a group of people that lived before you. You are them today. And when you speak, generations speak. And you carry memories your mind cannot recall, but your spirit recognizes. And there is a reason for this. Listen to this. In the ancestral worldview, time and space do not separate beings. Rather, you are one continuous flow of ndu, or life, through various tributaries, like a river. Therefore, when you are following step 1 and you're learning the names of your ancestors, you are awakening and reconnecting with elements of your very same self that are as real as your legs and your fingers and your hair today. Also very important to remember, when you are learning your ancestors' names, also learn their stories, who they were, how they experienced life, what things made them happy and what things made them sad, and so forth. Look at your ancestors as a Christian would look at the different books in the Bible, each of them coming together to tell a whole story. It is also important to acknowledge that every single person listening is alive because people before them refused to surrender. And for the gift of life, an honor is owed. This is also a clue to step 5, but we'll get there. Once you have done step 1, also know that you are never going to finish the journey of learning who your ancestors are. This is a lifelong journey. You are going to be accumulating names for the rest of your life and passing them on to other members of your family for the rest of your life. You're also going to be learning the individual stories of each person for the rest of your life. Be patient and understand that the process itself is Odinala. Step number 2 is learning how to perform Iwa Oji. Iwa Oji is the kola nut breaking ritual. Iwa Oji is how our ancestors are properly addressed. But you will also notice that within Odinala and Igbo, or Igbo culture, that Iwa Oji is how anybody is properly addressed. When an individual has guests in their home, the proper thing to do is to perform Iwa Oji for your guests. When you are doing a family prayer or you're about to speak to a large crowd, the proper thing to do is to perform Iwa Oji for those in attendance. Now I'm going to explain how to perform it and what it is at the same time, so pay attention to this. Iwa Oji is a ritual where you bring forth the kola. You address everybody in attendance by greeting them. You dedicate the kola nut to something. So you can say that this kola nut represents or gives us peace, life, wealth, and then you break the kola nut once you have made your declarations as to what the kola nut is for the guests, or what blessings everybody in attendance will receive that day. Performing Iwa Oji is a ceremony of declaring and decreeing what it is and what it shall be going forward. Now, this is something to understand, and for me growing up in Igbo culture, I did not realize that I was an Odinala person until I was an adult. The reason for this is because everything within Odinala is already woven into Igbo culture. So a person who participates in Igbo culture is already participating in Odinala. There are no distinctions, there's no separation. Iwa Oji is how you address a group of people who are in attendance with you. What is it that you're doing in the Iwa Oji ceremony? You are greeting each of these people or elements or forces that are present and relevant in the moment. But this is because in Igbo culture, greeting is already sacred. And it is normal that when you encounter a person, you greet them no matter who they are. Or as the Ilu says, "Ihu onye anya na ntị ya chiri n'ụtụtụ, kelee ya." When you see a blind and deaf person in the morning, greet them. Ekele, or a greeting, is a sacred thing in Igbo culture, and all things are worthy and deserving of a greeting because a greeting is a blessing, and a person who sends a blessing receives a blessing. Or as the Ilu says, Ono ba oja, oja aba ono. When the mouth plays the oja plays the mouth. So if your auntie has already scolded you for not greeting her and your parents have scolded you, that all of that is Odinala. You're already practicing Odinala. But, maybe due to the church, maybe they don't know why they're scolding you, but I'm here to tell you why. Listen to this. In Odinala Ndibo, life or existence is one thing acknowledging another thing. So when you receive acknowledgement or you acknowledge another, you are exchanging life. Every single person exists because two things acknowledged each other, your mother and your father, and they continue to exist because two things, your mado, the person or the flesh, and mo, the person and the spirit, are also acknowledging each other. In fact, one of the phrases used to describe existence on a cosmological scale is atu ma atu. Atu, acknowledging atu. Now, if you want a video explaining atu ma atu or atu, comment below. So Iwaji is the way that you acknowledge your ancestors. It is the way you acknowledge your creator. It is the way you acknowledge the earth. It is the way you acknowledge everything that you are going to be acknowledging in Odinala. It is the basic blueprint of how to pray, how to manifest, how to declare and decree, as well as how to access higher spiritual spaces. So step 2 is learn Iwaji. And if you want me to make a video on why specifically the kola nut, like why that specific thing, comment below. Now, step 3 is setting up a space for communicating with your spiritual universe. In Odinala Ndibo, this spiritual universe is known as your ezumezu. I'm going to explain what the ezumezu is, but I definitely think ezumezu deserves its own video. So if you want me to make a video about the ezumezu, comment below. Now, your ezumezu is your spiritual universe. It is the total, full, and complete you. So part of transitioning or learning Odinala is learning a new way of seeing and understanding and embracing the self. You are not just you. You are everything that created you, and you are everything that you will create. You are many things that also walk with you and guide you, and even bother you and torment you and bother the people around you. All of that comes together to create this community, this spiritual world known as you. For those of you who are patrons in the medicine library, and if you don't know, I have a Patreon, of course, and then on the Patreon, patrons have access to my full research library. So there's a document in there where a man is asking a woman that I want to take a picture of you. And so she went and got all of her kids and, put on her nice clothes and things like that. And she got ready for the picture. The man takes the picture and he goes, okay, I want to take a picture of just you. And the woman said, this is me. Now, if you understand that statement, you will understand the idea of self in Odinala. There's another one where another person, I think he's European, saw a little boy who was maybe, 4 or 5, he described, and then carrying his sister who was like 3. And they were almost the same size. He's carrying her on the back. And the European asked, isn't she heavy? And his answer was, no, she's my sister. Okay, I got one more. There's another document in the library about the Biafra War. And they were fighting. These are the Igbo soldiers. They were fighting and one person's brother was shot. And so the person stopped fighting because they were charging forward. The person stopped fighting to attend to his brother. And one of his leaders in the army goes, what are you doing? And he goes, my brother was just hit. And then the leader says, those men running forward, are they not your brother? So the man had to do what he had to do. So all of this ties into the Igbo worldview of the self, right? The self as this thing that is beyond the self and not necessarily defined by the separation of maybe time and space between you and a person, but very specifically defined by what connects you. And you see this also in the Ubuntu general African philosophy that says, I am because we are. All these documents are in the library, so if you're a patron, just message me and tell me that you want to read them. But a person's ezumezu is the full and complete you, meaning that you are an entire spiritual universe. There are many entities that live in this spiritual universe, and the thing that we tend to describe as the self is really the interaction that they have with each other. Just like the movement of a car is the sum total of the interaction of the parts within the car, as well as the human body. You are a sum total of the interactions of the organs and functions of your body. But this very fundamental way that the universe is organized does not end with the physical. It extends to the spiritual. So when you are building a sacred space, or you are dedicating a space for communicating with this spiritual universe, this space will be called your obi. The obi is very literally the heart of a thing, or where the thing lives, its core, the seed it sprouts from, and so forth. Once you have created your obi, you now have a space for ultimately communicating with you in full. The obi serves as a reminder, a space of peace, and a space of oneness with the entirety of what you are and what you are connected to. And all of this is expressed in the ilu that says, Mado chaba chia ofu onweya. When a person seeks their chi, they find themselves. I do have a guide on how to build an altar on patreon.com/themedicineshell, but I think, it's been a long time. I made a video on how to build an altar as well. So anybody who wants to post the link of that video in the comments so that other people can find it easy, I would appreciate that. But ultimately in an altar or an obi, you are going to represent yourself. You are going to have something that represents each of your ancestors, and then there are other things to you that you may choose to represent. As you're watching the video that teaches you how to make an obi or how to build an altar, or maybe if you're reading it on Patreon, always remember that the building of an obi is an art project. It is not a doctrine, right? Ultimately, you are expressing who you are as you know. And once you have a space for all of you and all of the things you are connected to and all of the things that give you life to meet, you now have a space where you can both command and acknowledge your destiny. Now, it is important to also remember this. In Odinala and Igbo, right, you're going to learn about the Abara, which some people translate as the deities. And you're going to learn about ancestors and so forth. The relationship you have with these entities is not one of complete subservience. You are the one, because you are the living one, or you are the one that is in this time and space right now. You are the one that they have passed the baton to. And so when you are communicating with them using Iwaji, you are speaking confidently, you are speaking fully, and you are speaking in a way that represents them with honor. This is very different. I know a lot of the Eurasian religions, you're supposed to be very kind of subdued and subservient. So you are the host of the event. And this is explained in the ilu that says, Watakere saraka weriki sondiche erinri, which says a child who knows how to wash their hands can eat with the elders and ancestors. And that is step 3, which is, of course, building the obi, or building a space for you to communicate and maintain that relationship with this ezumezu, or your greater spiritual universe, which takes us to step 4. Learn and acknowledge the spirits of your environment. Listen to this. If you've not noticed the pattern by now, The ancestral worldview says that I am because of what I am connected to, or I am because you are. But an individual is connected to more than themselves, and even more than their ancestors. An individual is connected to their living family as well. Now, pay attention to this part, because a lot of people believe that Odinala is all about acknowledging ancestors. But the actual reason you are acknowledging ancestors is because they are family members, and death does not end the existence of family. My father is my father, whether he's living or not living. And so I will respect my father as a father is to be respected. Now, this also extends to your living family members. There's no such a thing as Odinala ndina dinefe ndiche. Mana hana ba hana ba ndibe ya na ndi nwanne ya nkịtị. Right? There's no such a thing as Odinala where a person acknowledges their ancestors but doesn't acknowledge their living family. This doesn't mean you're supposed to have a perfect relationship with everybody in your family. But part of the process of Odinala, especially in the process of self-healing, is learning how to heal those particular wounds and those disconnects that you have with your living and non-living family. But family does not end at humanity. Again, the sacredness of an acknowledgement, or inkele, does not end at humanity or those who can respond to you immediately as well, which we saw in the ilu of the blind and the deaf man. Everything that gives you life deserves acknowledgement. Everything that sustains you deserves acknowledgement. And this acknowledgement is a part of the exchange, where if a river gives me life, I give her back a thank you. If the earth gives me food, I give her a thank you. If the sky gives me rain, I give him a thank you. And if the sun gives me light, I give her thanks and acknowledgement. I also, like I do with my elders and with my peers, both living and non-living, acknowledge them when they are present. So when I am greeting my ancestors, I am also greeting the earth, and I'm also greeting the sky. When I am greeting the guests who visit me and I'm breaking Aji, I am also greeting the earth, I am also greeting the sky. 2 reasons. Reason number 1, they are present and they deserve it. Reason number 2, the earth and the sky are very literally your ancestors. The same way that you are a mixture of your mother and your father's DNA. All living beings, all including you, are a mixture of 6 building blocks: oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, and phosphorus. Of these 6 elements, carbon, calcium, and phosphorus come from the affairs of the earth, or they come from the earth, where oxygen, nitrogen, and hydrogen come from the affairs of the sky. Nitrogen being particularly interesting to me because nitrogen is synthesized or created in its usable form by the striking of thunder. Now, the reason I say it's important or interesting to me is because in the ancestral story of how human beings were created, this exact phenomena is described. If you guys want me to tell the story of how human beings were created according to our Igbo ancestors, comment below. So, as you are acknowledging your ancestors, remember that the earth, the sky, the sun, water, all of these different things are your ancestors. Also acknowledge the fact that you exist because of them and you sustain existence because of them. And as one receives blessings, so they give blessings back. This is the reason you will see many Odinala people going to rivers to give the river thanks, play music for the river, acknowledge the river, and so forth. You'll see them doing this for the earth. You'll see them doing this for trees. You'll see them doing this for the sun and acknowledging the sun and greeting the sun the way you would greet a person. One of the true markers of spiritual growth is the capacity to project life onto other things. The ability to not only bless yourself, but to bless what is around you. And I would even go further, especially when we're talking about the ancestral view, that it is more important to bless what is outside of you than what is within. But that is probably a topic for another video. Another way of acknowledging the elements around you is to also represent them at your altar so that you're greeting them as you're greeting everything else. Now, I personally don't do this because the elements are literally there already, right? In my own sacred space, which is outside, the sky is there, the earth is there, water naturally is there or arrives when she wants to arrive with rain and things like that. So I think it's important for me to point this out because I want to emphasize that this creation of a sacred space is entirely based off of what resonates with you. Now, outside of the elements, there are beings that exist not in human form or not in elemental form. They may reveal themselves to you or they may not reveal themselves to you. It is not a must to acknowledge them if you have no awareness of them. When you become aware of them, acknowledging them is fine so long as it's, something that you feel should be acknowledged, because not all of them should. And this brings us to step 5, the final step in this. Now, if you've been watching this long and you like what you've been hearing, hit the like button. YouTube has changed the algorithm on us. It says that the like button is the most important thing now. So go ahead and hit that like button if you like what you've heard so far or if you've learned something new. It just helps people who are like you also find this video so that they can receive what you received. And also, if you want to learn more, join the Patreon at patreon.com/themedicineshell. You can schedule a one-to-one with me on Patreon where I can teach you these things personally or, discuss your own specific approach to this or maybe things that have been happening to you or questions you want answered. We also have an in-house Debia. So if you need specific cures or a reading, right, an Afa divination reading, we have somebody that's trusted who's been doing it for us that can do that for you. Now, and if you're in Nigeria and you can't join the Patreon, you can actually become a member of this channel and you get all the same things, right? And so become a member as well if you're not in Nigeria. So that's cool. Step number 5, everything is sacred. Everything is spiritual. I think one of the things that is different from Odinala with a lot of the Eurasian spiritual systems is in the Eurasian spiritual system, most of them tend to designate certain things as spiritual or sacred and certain things as not. Odinala is entirely different. Every single thing that exists is both physical and spiritual, and every single thing that exists is the divine and is divine, because the divine infuses and expresses itself through reality rather than reality being something that's separate from the divine. Okay? Why is this important? This is important because I think everybody watching this video has an understanding of what sacred means and what sacred is, right? Now, take that understanding and use it to view everything around you. Sacredness is the most abundant thing in existence because it is existence in itself. So the same way that I said, the acknowledgments you are giving your ancestors, you should be giving the people around you who are living as well. The respect you give your ancestors and the Abara and Chukwu, you should be giving the people and the things and the animals around you as well. Because ultimately, all of these elements are one. Now, all people, for example, are seeking their purpose because within their purpose is their strength. Or as the Ilu said earlier, the animal that tries to follow the monkey will break its leg. A monkey who is being a monkey is within its power and its purpose, and nobody can be a better monkey than a monkey. In fact, those who try may even hurt themselves. Same thing applies for you. Nobody is a better you than you, and at the same time, everything around you is also this divine and sacred one-of-one creation and creator. And therefore, anything you do with your hands is sacred and regarded as such. The space by which you do it is an altar to that power. that you bring into the world. The events that happen in your life, whether they be good or bad, all of them are wrapped in and expressions of the divine. Understand this, and a lot of Odinala becomes intuitive. That's it. This is Duru of Father with the Medicine Shell, and thank you.